and welcome to Africa Beyond Borders. I'm your host, Soraya Mentor, here to celebrate with you guys Africans who go beyond their borders. Today's guest is Lleyke Erasmus, filmmaker, artist, creative from South Africa who recently moved to America. Lleyke is here to share her stories and some life advice for you guys who also want to move to the big continent. Hi, Lleyke.
Hi, Soraya. Thank you so much for having me today. It's great to see you again. It's so cool.
It's
Haven't seen you in
so
a
cool.
while.
I miss you so much. Here in Namibia, it's daytime. What time is it by you?
So it is currently 3:30 in the morning, 3:30 a.m., and it's very dark outside. I'm currently in North Carolina, super cold. I'm stuck on top of the mountain. So yeah, it's crazy to adapt to all these kind of weathers. Very insane.
I miss you so much. Just a backstory to our audience. Lleyke and I went to film school together in South Africa, in Gqeberha. And today we're just going to be talking about her journey moving from South Africa to America. So, getting into it, I firstly want to hear what is the biggest culture shock you got when you moved there? And when did you actually move?
So I moved to Florida. People, everyone from around South Africa, around from Cape Town, Durban, everywhere. It was so cool. The biggest culture shock that everyone can relate to, that's South African, that's also living in this country, is definitely the food, and as well as like how the systems work here. Everything is super technological. It's wild to adapt to everything here. And yeah, I would say the food is my number one culture shock. Nothing has spice on it. I miss Raja spice.
I know you have such a big passion for food and just the culinary world in general. Is there something else beyond the food that you were like, this is a different cultural experience, even just like heritage?
Um, so I must say, so I came to America to work in country clubs as a server at private country clubs. And being a server in South Africa for 5 years, compared to now only being recently a server in America, the culture is so much different on how to treat the people and, excuse me, how to treat the people and like how to ask them. There's a certain way of order to take food orders compared from back home. Like example, you can't just say, "Alrighty, guys, ready to order some drinks." You need to first introduce yourself, and then there's like certain steps of service that you need to follow for the Americans to be safe with you as a server.
That's very amazing to hear and very interesting, very different. I introduced you as a filmmaker, as a creative, but you're currently pursuing a different job currently. Could you take us a bit through more of that?
So I went through this company called Workway. It helps us to be able to travel the states, the United States. Um, so it helps to see the United States. They allow you to travel to Florida and work at country clubs as a server or a food runner or a server assistant or even an expo runner. You get a lot of cool experience with that. So yes, like you mentioned, I was in a film, and what I loved about working in film production was working with people and different personalities. So doing this a normal server job in the States, it's an awesome challenge for me to pack on and just to see all these different personalities and different people and stories that you meet every day. It's not something that you'll see in South Africa.
That's very, very cool to hear. I'm actually very interested to hear how did you experience just the entire moving process? You know, if you were talking to a younger person who's in South Africa, that entire moving from South Africa, in Africa to America, what is one advice you'd give to such person?
My biggest advice would be able to adapt. You're gonna work for winter season in Florida, and then for summer season you go up north. So be able to adapt. You're gonna meet so many new people. You're gonna have new roommates. You're gonna have new lifestyle that you need to adapt to just to be in comfort space for your roommates and your work crew and your co-workers, have a respectable line. So the biggest one would be adapt and don't don't get too attached because you're gonna move on. It's a constant move. I promise you, you forget the days of the week. You forget you time flies so quick here because you're just on the move constantly. And it's fun. It's exciting. There's never a dull moment.
I love hearing that. I love how excited you are and just adapting a lot. As you say, adapt, adapt, and adapt. I want to dive into your film career or your journey right now. Could you tell us what type of filmmaker you are and what your style is?
So when I was studying film, I was majoring in set designing, especially effects, makeup, and costume designing. And a lot of people would ask me, like, what's your favorite style? What's your favorite director? And to be honest, I like anything creative, weird, and out of the box.
You, even as a person, like when I met you, everything about you was just creative and out the box. Just how you design your characters, how you design your set. You're just such a creative, well, rather creative and amazing person to watch and follow. I'm very interested. How do you find the difference between the art industry in South Africa and America?
Um, so for me, art is art, and the difference with I would say is like the art in America, it's more commercial. Where in South Africa, we are super traditional. We stick to our culture. Where Americans, they get influenced really quick by like whatever in trend or whatever in fashion by that time, which I've realized now in this past couple of months being here. That's why I like South Africa, because we stick to our truth and I miss it every day.
Besides art, I'm actually interested to hear what are other things that Africa doesn't compare to in America, like something that cannot, America cannot match to South Africa.
So a really simple example is like the food markets. Like people here are not as friendly as South Africans. Oh well, Quebec was, it's not just people will just go up to you and say, "Hey, I don't like the color of your shirt," where the South Africans would be like, "Oh, I can see you having a braai. I can see it's going good." Like they're very uplifting. Where Americans, they just instantly will tell you that's not cool.
That is so funny to hear.
Excuse me.
I would have never thought that. Oh, you're having a braai. It looks so good. America is like that. Looks horrible.
You know what I mean? It's very different. People are so upfront with South Africans. We are still nice. We are very nice, and I like that. Just very nice and very helpful.
That makes me so, so happy to hear. If there's a part of yourself that has changed over this time that you've been in America, what would you say it is?
Would say it is I would say it's my way of like approaching people and also the way of like I would say thinking. Like I've matured more in thinking because I'm seeing so much more than just South Africa, I'm seeing different people with and so many cultures that comes together in South Africa as well. Like, yeah, I would say I'm more open-minded now.
That's amazing to hear. Just that's an experience that you can never lose because it's within you. Is there something that you could say, being from South Africa, that you took along with you just to keep you motivated or even just keep you alive?
And it sounds really, really weird, but I still have some African notes in my wallet. So every time I'm missing home, I just look at a $10, $10, excuse me, 10 Rand note. And then I'm like, yes, I remember when this had meaning for me. You know what I mean? This is my motivation.
That is so random. It's so comforting at the same way. Well, Leica, we're going to take a
Exactly.
quick break. It's going to be a quick break. And then we're going to get more into the film industry and the logistical aspect to moving to an entire new continent. Stay tuned. And welcome back. You are tuned into Africa Beyond Borders. I'm your host, Soraya Mentor, joined today by Lleyke Erasmus, filmmaker, content creator, artist, who's here to tell us her stories from America and what it's like moving from South Africa all the way to America. So getting into it, Lleyke, I just want to hear more about the actual logistic process. What was the visa like? How many days did it take for you to get your paperwork to move to America? What was that like?
So just to give you an idea, I started doing my application for this program in July. I only got my visa on the end of September because there was like, there's a lot of paperwork that needs to be done. Like you need to get your biokinetics, you need to do a whole health test to see if your blood is good. You don't have like any sickness that you can carry over in the country. Oh, you needed to get like certain letters from certain places, and yeah, it was just a lot of paperwork and interviews, and also the company helps you as well to get a country club. So you have a lot of interviews with a lot of country clubs. So it's a lot. I would say from July to September was my whole process. Every day was paperwork time.
Wow, that is very motivating to hear. I'm not sure about the July, September, but it does show that this is
It's
something
a
that is
lot.
possible. And I mean, you
It
made
is
it a
possible, I
reality.
promise.
You were saying?
Excuse me, I just wanted to say it. I know it sounds like so much work, but if you just push through, I promise, and you just get on that plane, it's all going to be so worth it, especially when you walk into your first apartment that they provide you in Florida. You're going to love it so much.
I'm very curious to hear about the program you joined. Is it applicable to other Africans as well? And is it like a monthly thing or once in a year opportunity that they collect people to go with?
So they usually start to collect people from June to July. That's when they start looking at applications. It's for anyone. It's for everyone around the world. Because we have a lot of Romanians as well, and people from South Africa, obviously, and we have people from Hungary that you meet as well. So it's a company that helps you to get an H-2B visa, and this H-2B visa is valid for us for only 3 years long. So you can decide if you want to stay in the States for the whole 3 years, or if you just want to work for a year and a half, or only just for 6 months for one season overseas. So yeah, it's applicable for anyone.
Could you please repeat the company's name to us?
Oh yes, absolutely. I went through Workaway International. Um, they were incredible. They helped me out with so many. They are very helpful. They provided with the plane tickets, and they are amazing references to have for the first time when you go to Florida or when you go overseas.
Thank you for sharing that, Leica. I now want to tap into your mental wellness area. How do you keep yourself sane if you work in the film industry and you're working in the service industry?
So because I'm working only in the service industry on this program, it's a lot of work. In Florida, I used to work every week like 70 hours maximum. It sounds a lot, I promise, but like I said, time goes so quick. But how do I keep myself sane? I make friends or like I will go to the gym or just go for a walk. I usually went because in America everything is so open for the public. So I would go for like a Green Valley walk, go watch alligators before work, and then I go to work with a smile. And yeah, I just want to give a disclaimer when you go to Florida. You will be in contact with the iguana. If you don't know what's an iguana, please go look it up. And I just want to apologize in advance because that was my biggest nightmare, but it's a great experience.
That is, I will Google that and I'll be sure to check that out if I go one day. I wanted to ask, what was the best or most iconic experience you had when you went to America?
So in Florida, I had the opportunity to go to Miami. So my in spring break time as well. So it was insane. It was exactly like you see it in the movies. Exactly. I cannot lie. I cannot make this up. So I would say it was for me the coolest, the weirdest, and the most quirkiest experience ever because it's like you just see all these wildlives, like the wild nightlives and how everyone acts and yeah. And the coolest as well. I have the ability from one to tomorrow I can fly to New York. It's so weird. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. That's so crazy to me. Yes.
That's very cool to hear. I'm trying to find out what is it like moving from Florida to North Carolina. Is there also a specific cultural shock that you may have experienced or how they do things differently?
So what I've experienced in Florida compared to now in North Carolina, Florida, it's more a mixture of Spanish people and then Americans because they're on the south. So some of the islands they will go to Florida and live there and work there as well on an H2B program. But North Carolina, especially, yeah, it's more stable. So you'll hear black bean southern soup or Brunswick soup. It's the cultures and the food and everything is so different because in Florida they more, how can I say it, more Latin cuisine. Excuse me, say the name wrong. Like Latino cuisine or it's like Mexican cuisine, but they're really good in it. And over here it's more like a barbecue or it's like chicken gizzards, like they would say it, and ranch. Ranch is a big thing in North Carolina. And the accents as well. They have more deep accents as well. And North Carolina people, they are very nice as well. Nicer than Florida made people.
I'm glad that you're experiencing friendly humans. Do you have a future plan now that you're in North Carolina? And you did mention the timeline of the program. How long do you plan on staying there?
So I am planning to stay for the whole visa, for the whole 3 years. At like private clubs, you get to meet all these different businesses. So I've met a lot of people in Los Angeles, California, and they can give you if you plan, give you an opportunity to get a work visa, maybe work in California for 6 months or a work permit. So that is for me like understanding I extend my visa without going back home.
Amazing to hear, amazing to
So
hear.
that's
Just
the big challenge.
yeah, it can be. Oh, it's just so amazing talking to you. Before we go, do you have any final statements you want to say about your journey or an advice you want to give someone who was in your shoes about a year ago?
Um, No, but one advice I can give you, yes, it's super exciting to receive to say, yes, you've been accepted, and yes, the paperwork can be drained and all that. But I promise you, as soon as you climb in that plane, you will get that nerves, but it's also like sad to leave your family, but those nerves is also like a curious nerves. So don't be scared. Just get on that plane and have the best time of your life and cherish every moment and make up languages because that's really cool.
Thank you for sharing the master tips from Lleyke Erasmus. Lleyke, it was wonderful having you in studio with us from all the way America to right here in Namibia. Thank you for
Yes.
your time and just sharing your insights.
Thank you, Sarah. It was amazing to see you again. It's so great to see your face again. Oh, it's been a while. It's great. But absolutely, I would stay awake for you anytime.
Very much appreciated from us and the crew as well.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Awesome. And that was it for today's episode from Africa Beyond Borders, where we were joined by Lleyke Erasmus, filmmaker from South Africa, currently living in North Carolina, America. We're so excited to have Lleyke in studio today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys soon.